Hello friends! Some owners of the gasoline iX35, after 50 to 150,000 kilometers, noticed an extraneous knock during engine operation. The reasons were different: a faulty hydraulic chain tensioner, a CVVT clutch, variable valve timing, hydraulic lifters installed after restyling in 2013, or even scuffing in the cylinders. Fortunately, bullying is not a common phenomenon. When applying during the warranty period, dealers did not change the entire engine, but only the short block assembly with pistons and the crankshaft. Starting the engine can be difficult due to a malfunction of the clutch pedal switch with manual transmission, brake switch with automatic transmission, and in cold weather due to the retracting starter. Grease thickens. In diesel units, after 50 to 100,000 kilometers, the crankshaft damper pulley is sometimes rented. And problems with starting a cold diesel engine arise due to poor contact or oxidation at the crimp point of the wiring of the glow plug strip. In addition, the glow plug relay or the glow plugs themselves may fail. 3 boxes are provided for the iX35, 5 and 6-speed mechanics as well as a 6-speed automatic. There are no serious problems with the boxes. In the case of a manual transmission, many note the appearance of extraneous noise that disappears after the clutch is depressed, and in the case of an automatic transmission, the owners complain about noticeable shocks during switching. Weak protection of the splined connections of the drive elements from the effects of water and dirt leads to unpleasant consequences. So after 50 to 100,000 kilometers, corrosion kills the spline connection of the right composite drive shaft. Slots lick. There is a backlash and a rumble. Worse, the intermediate shaft support bearing may break off. The mount is part of the block. Ideally, it is necessary to replace the block, but it is possible to get off with argon welding. Fortunately, this problem is much less common. Another example of poor protection of spline joints is corrosion and shearing of the splines of the drive shaft in the transfer case and the differential cup after 100 to 150,000 kilometers. At risk, first of all, are owners of diesel cars. Prevention of splined joints will help to avoid problems, lubrication every 30 to 40,000 kilometers. In addition, the high torque of diesel engines can lead to the destruction of the differential basket along the weld. The Hyundai ix35 used 2 all-wheel drive couplings. Until 2011, an electromagnetic clutch of Japanese origin, JTECT, was installed, and since 2011, a hydraulic clutch from Austrian manufacturer Magna-Steyr. The clutch is quite reliable. Malfunctions occur due to damage to the wiring or wear of the brushes of the electric motor at high mileage. After 100,000 kilometers, the clutch seal sometimes starts to leak. The propeller shaft outboard bearing can buzz after 80 to 140,000 kilometers. Knocking suspension is the cause of many complaints about the Hyundai, and not only the iX35. Knocks when driving over bumps worsen with the advent of cold weather. There are several sources of extraneous sounds. The main one is native suspension struts, which can knock after 2 to 3,000 kilometers. Official services changed racks under warranty, but that didn't mean they wouldn't knock again. After all, the new shock absorbers are the same. Some, over 20,000 kilometers, managed to change them 3 times. But the trouble is not universal. There are those who have traveled up to 80 to 100,000 kilometers, never noticing that something is knocking in the suspension. Another source of knocks is an anther and a shock absorber bumper flying from the seat. The manufacturer recommended to fix the boot on the rack with a sealant. The folk method is winding electrical tape on a rod or screed buffer chipper with clamps. On the iX35 2012 model year, the manufacturer has eliminated this design flaw. After 50,000 kilometers, the steering rack may knock. Wheel bearings run more than 60 to 100,000 kilometers. Silent blocks and ball bearings of levers serve more than 100 to 150,000 kilometers, but the rear arm bracket, to which the stabilizer strut is attached, can collapse after 60 to 100,000 kilometers. The bracket can be welded on. The defect affects exclusively all-wheel drive versions of the Hyundai ix35. The paintwork is traditionally soft, easily scratched, and eventually becomes chipped. Unfortunately, after 3 to 6 years, paint swelling can sometimes be found on the rear wheel arches, tailgate, hood, roof, and windshield pillars. Dealers are reluctant to acknowledge this issue as a warranty issue. The salon of the ix35 often starts to creak, especially in winter before the cabin warms up. Most often, the armrest between the front seats becomes the source of extraneous sounds. Another unpleasant moment is the crumbling filler of the driver's seat cushion. From close friction with sharp edges of the frame, the inside can crumble completely in just 30,000 kilometers. It is surprising the persistence with which the manufacturer changed the seat cushion again and again until the warranty ended. Only in 2015 was it decided to install a special lining on the frame that resists destructive friction. The same story with peeling leather steering wheel and door trim at the point of contact with the driver's elbow. The leather of the chairs does not differ in durability. Creases appear on the driver's seat, the leather cracks and tears. Sometimes the stove motor starts to make noise. It is necessary to disassemble, clean, and lubricate. Or the plastic casing of the air duct under the passenger seat flies from its place. There are also failures of parking sensors, rear view cameras, and glitches of the head unit. There were also cases of spontaneous ignition of control lamps, followed by a short-term extinction of the instrument panel. In such cases, dealers changed the tidy. If you know of other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.